All right, everyone, welcome inside the HSBC Women's World Championship Virtual Media Center. Once again, we ask you do keep yourself muted until we open it up for questions, and you can use the chat function of this call to let me know if you have any questions, and I'll be sure to call on you when I open it up. We are here with Inbee Park. Inbee, I want to start off with what I saw on the broadcast. Your first birdie of the day. I feel like I saw this giant sigh of relief. Is that what you felt as well?
Yeah, I mean, today's round was not great, but I guess I can work with it. It was a little bit of a betrayal of my putter today. It just didn't go as much as I wanted to. I misread few putts, and but I still feel like I felt there pretty well. I mean, especially the front nine, 1 through number 6 was pretty tough. With a lot of opportunities given, but nothing was going in. So I was just trying to get my momentum going, and number 7 definitely did it. And from there, the round was a little bit easier, but obviously I got off to a little bit rough start.
I know that that putt was, I think it was about 30 feet, something like that. And the commentator said something along the fact of like, oh, I guess 30-footer is going to be the number of the day for you. So once you got that momentum going on 7, 8, and 9, how did that boost your confidence for the rest of the round?
Oh, yeah, it definitely helped, and I really needed it. I mean, I was hitting so many great shots, but just not holding any of the putts. So I really wanted to make it happen, and obviously having birdies on number 7, 8, and 9 was big help. And obviously there was a lot of opportunities on the back nine as well, but I wasn't able to make. It's just it wasn't my great putting day today, but hopefully better days to come next 2 days.
I know you said it was more of a portrayal of your putter, but other than that, were there any other factors that maybe were the difference makers on the course between yesterday and today?
No, not at all. And everything has been, very consistently good. My driving to my iron shots to, everything has been, pretty good. It was just, I could have easily shot, 7, 8 under par if, my putter works a little bit better. But today was just, not the putting day.
I know we've talked about all week that your husband's on the bag and keeping up with the heat, keeping up with this. How nice is it to be able to get that confidence from your husband there, when maybe the putts aren't dropping as you'd like them to be?
Oh yeah, I mean it is. You get good days and not as good days on the golf course. But when it's always nice to have a good company with you and somebody to talk to when you obviously don't feel as good as when you're playing great. So yeah, I mean it was great having him around.
All right. Once again, if you have any questions for Inbee, please let me know in the chat function, and I'll be sure to call on you. You and Hee Young paired up together today, as well as both tied for the lead at the moment. What was it like kind of trading the birdies back and forth when it got rolling for both of you?
Oh yeah, I mean, Hee Young and I are, almost the same age, and we are the little bit of a more oldies on the tour. So, we were talking about, oh, it's this weather is just killing us because, we are, not as young as like 10 years ago. So, I mean, we really had, great fun out there with Hee Young. She played great. I mean, she always has been, great swing. She always had a great swing and a great ball striker, and she just showed it today. So I'm looking forward to playing with her tomorrow again, and yeah, hopefully we both play good golf next 2 days.
When you realize that the putting isn't dropping as much as you want it to be, what do you do after a round like this to prepare for another round tomorrow?
Oh, well, I think I'm just gonna work on my rhythm a little bit, but not outside, probably in the room.
In the room, that makes sense. I know back
Yeah.
in Korea you have your own little putting mat. Do you bring anything with you?
No. Just to practice, putting stroke is enough. I think I'm just trying to get the rhythm going again, and it was mostly not the best stroke today. I think it was just mostly the read, and the putts were very confusing today. One moment it was looking like it was gonna break, but it didn't, and yeah, it was just very tough. I think I was just placing myself in like those ridges where it's like, is it gonna break or not, and like in between. Yeah, so I mean it's really tough to judge of just one day, but I think it's I've made a lot yesterday, and obviously today made up for a little bit, I guess.
Exactly. We'll open it up to questions. Once again, if you have one, please let me know in the chat function. Kent, I'll open it up to you first if you'd like to unmute yourself.
Hey, Amby, you've talked about with having your husband on the bag, having to work through yardages, a little bit extra work on the reads, but what's the biggest difference you notice in how you feel on the course having your husband on the bag versus Brad?
Well, obviously yesterday we read the putts so good, and he was really confident with his putting reading, and I was as well. And then today after 6 hole, he was like, no, after like 4 holes, he was like, "Oh, I think you should just read the putts now," because I think he was maybe feeling sorry or he was just not feeling confident. So after that, I just start reading my putts, and obviously, like I said, it is a little different to having a professional caddy, obviously, but he's definitely has the good side as well, and I think it's just good fun. I mean, I wouldn't say he want to do this all year, that's for sure. I think it's just gonna be like once a year thing that he needs to do. I think it's just gonna be too hard on him. I think just watching from outside is probably a lot easier for him than watching it so close, and being part of the game is quite different. So I don't want to give him a hard time every weekend out. So
What's been the hardest part for him?
I think when I miss putts, I think he just gets really. I think he's just really sad, and he really thinks that he's done something wrong. And I told him it happens, and it's okay. And I was just trying to calm him down. So
Thanks, Inbee.
Having to calm your husband down, he takes it so personally. I think that's kind of cute. Real quick before we open it up again to another question, has Brad been watching? Do you know, has he sent you any like advice or anything when maybe these putts aren't going in? Is he like, Inbee, come on?
And every day he's been texting me and just getting the cheers from him, and yeah, I'm sure he's watching on TV. And he said we just told him how hard it is in this hot weather, and he was like, it's only gonna get better as the day goes on. And I think he was pretty correct.
With that, we'll open it up to Raka. If you'd like to unmute yourself, please.
Okay, thank you. Inbee, some said that hole 13 is one of the most difficult on the course, but you managed to make birdie on it. Could you talk to me about how you managed to beat that hole?
Which hole was that?
Hole number 13.
13. 13?
Yeah.
13 was the par
Yes,
5. Oh, was it? Oh, 13. 13 is a par 5, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, 13 is it's not the toughest hole because they moved the tee up for 2 days, and it was reachable in 2. So I think a lot of the girls took an advantage of that hole with shorter yardage into the hole, and a lot of the girls got on the green with 2. So
Okay. Talking about your cold putter today, I mean, was it just the reading or was it any technical issue?
I just think it was just reading. I mean, first 4 holes, my husband and I thought that we, read the green perfectly, and then it just betrayed, and obviously just didn't go away. We read it, and like I said, I was on these, little ridges where it was just very confusing. And I mean, you don't get those days many times, but you get those days where you're putting yourself like in between. It's gonna go right, it's gonna go left, and it's just one of those days.
Okay, thank you. Hopefully it's going back hot tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. One last call for questions here as I'll wrap it up here with you, Inbee. I know you talked about you'll go back to the hotel, just work on the putting stroke, without having to go outside and use the putting green. But is there anything else that you focus on to kind of cool down when the temperatures are soaring so much like this?
Acai bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really helps. I've been having it every day. Not every day, probably 3-4 times this week. And, it definitely, hydrates you. And having some fruit on top of it and some acai is great. I think it's like ice cream, but healthier.
I love that. Well, thank you, Inbee, and
Okay.
thank you, everyone, for joining us. We'll have Hee Young very
Thank
shortly.
you.